problem that I would like to address is the one that ideas, like people, can become lonely. What do you do when an idea is lonely? Well, one design tool that can be used where you sense that this idea is by itself, needs company, is to provide another idea that can nest the first, no longer lonely idea. So you have one idea, sort of egg-like, and then another idea which can nest the other idea. And the interaction of these two ideas can let the idea live in a way where it's making relations, it has a kind of a friendship, and will actually help you in your relation to the idea as well. This is related to one of Herbert Bruhn's formulations of what he called fundamentals of designing society. And this one is one he called the main interest threat. If you have an interest which is your main interest, that actually makes you, who have this interest, vulnerable to criticisms, to mistakes. And one way to address this, according to Herbert Bruhn, is to find a secondary interest, large enough that it can host and nest the main interest and protect it against the nested ideas and interests, mistakes and errors. A couple of examples for how this idea of nesting might be used in the field. A friend of mine brought to me the idea that he would like to make a school of love. In our society, love is kept on the margins. People have to figure out love on their own, or maybe in family relations, and that's not reliable. And he thought, what if somehow in an educational context we could actually address the theme of love, and people could learn about it, learn from it. And that's a cool idea. I really like that idea. It seems to be a needed idea in our current society. And as I was contemplating what he wrote to me, and he wrote down his proposal, I had a feeling that as an idea it was a little lonely. And I started to project, what if he decided to actually work on making this happen? I'm afraid that he would find that the idea by itself was, in a way, not enough to carry what he wanted it to do, that it was maybe a little too communicative, and others might come in and attach their meanings to his idea and water it down, or actually not carry forth the promise and meaning of his idea. And so I started to get this kind of sense, this feeling that something was missing, and then I remembered, oh yeah, nesting. So maybe what that idea needed was another idea to nest the idea of a school of love. And I wasn't sure what that would be yet, but had the idea that it could be nested in something. Maybe it could be nested in care. And there's the whole realm of care and providing care and amateur care and professional care, what it means, the emotion of caring, and so that the emotion of love, or the action of love, could be in a kind of a partnership, and you could say, where's one end and the other begin? Is one larger and nesting the other? Which nests which? It could also be a nesting idea of humanism, where it is something that our society says is a good thing, but in practice is excluded from many supposedly caring institutions. And so maybe this idea of a school of love could be nested within the idea of humanism, and creating a humanism that would make love possible and something that one could learn. These are ideas that occurred to me under the practical project of what to do with an idea. Another example is one that was mine, where for my doctoral work I was supposed to come up with an idea for a dissertation, some idea where I would have to work on something for a couple of years. And being practical, I knew that I had been talking with people about proposing to start a school. I was studying music composition, and so I thought maybe what I should do as my project is to write about teaching composition. That would prepare me for our creation of our school and would relate my work to this project. And I was proud of myself and proposed that. The response that I got back from my teacher, Herbert Brun, was, okay, connect it to the power of the respondent. Oh, where did that come from? He didn't explain to me, but I think somehow in his perceiving me and my proposal of an idea was that was a lonely idea. That he was projecting that in the several years that I would spend working on this, that I would have trouble focusing on just that idea. In a way it was too diffuse, in a way it was too narrow. The very practicality of it was a problem, and perhaps not fundamental enough, and needed a question that was not yet solved. And so he took an idea that he would refer to in his classes, but not really explain very much, that in a situation where someone says something and there's a response, that there's a power relation in addition to other relations, so that the one who is responding to something has a kind of a power. He would utter this, offer it, give a few little examples, and not really develop that. So in a way, he handed me his idea as a nest for my idea, and the interesting relation between those sustained me for writing something that I now look back on as something that was possibly an offer, a contribution to both the idea of power and the idea of teaching composition. So the thing that to be developed is the sense of when an idea is lonely. Not all ideas are lonely, but there's a time and a place maybe where somehow you can sense that an idea is lonely and needs another one. And just that inkling that another one is needed will help you figure out which one might work.